we've got a finite number of them here, and I'm hoping that GLBTIQ IQQA.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't feel like you need to repeat the Q.
Queer and questioning were the...
Right. But, I mean, do you need to have a separate Q for both?
Queer. Questioning, I can...
Queer, I mean, anyway. So.
we get into that, and the phones will ring.
What do you think about this issue? Should there be one Q or two?
Well, and anyone who's had the opportunity to see Robin McCallan actually give her talk, she always opens it with that.
Yes.
She has it so well memorized, that litany of categories that gets down into all of the other non-conforming, other hetero-flexible,
poly.
She's got.
And she says them fast.
She says them. That's what actually starts opening someone's eyes, going, there's a lot of depth in this community.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, you do have to sort of put bounds around it to be able to talk about it to a larger community.
And I think the parameters, we have a sense now that, we've given, most, every person a chance to sort of step forward and identify themselves as a distinct sexual minority.
Right.
So, I mean, it's not to say that things won't evolve, but, I mean, how many more sexualities can we have?
Well, I mean, for instance, you have people that will say that intersex doesn't fall under trans, and in some descriptions it doesn't. That's why it's LGBTQIA. But certainly the gender expression versus the gender identity sort of falls into the same kind of descriptors for an intersex person as a transsexual person.
Right, which is why the intersex books were included with this category. I mean, before they started having a separate category, it was integrated into all the other genres. And so, interestingly, the bisexual category has followed a very similar kind of trajectory. Was that, there'd be individual books in different genres, and finally, 3 years ago, it sort of came to a cumulative head, and they have a minimum of 10 books, I think, 6 or 10 books that have to be entered into a category, have to be eligible for a category.
To have the category.
To have the category for any particular year. And there used to be like an AIDS, HIV category, and, that has gone away over time. So, I mean, these things evolve along with the way that the community is.
Right.
And while we were talking about these, the books for this category, the judges and the official from the Lambda Foundation, talked about the significance of having the finalist be a book about intersex.
Oh yeah, it's great.
And what that means, and if there might be a trajectory, say 5 years from now, we'll see intersex have its own category, which
because there's
really
enough literature about it. Yeah, that would be real interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got an email. It was interesting talking about letters.
Yes.
We got an email. You answered that.
I was thinking of, partially, I still owe the person of
somebody that identified it as an androgyne, which I think that's what it was. Wasn't it androgyne?
What?
Androgen.
Androgyne, I think, was what they had called themselves.
Right. And this is part of the gotcha. The first thing I did was write back and say, this is how I understand the word. What do you mean by it?
Right.
Right. That's always the best protocol.
To try and qualify what kind of support this person was actually looking for.
Right.
And it was a person who basically felt very much like they didn't need to fall into a particular gender category, and they felt like they wanted to express male and female at different times, different days, different modes. They felt very flexible in their gender identity and wanted an expression, and didn't feel like they were in the middle, like they were a blend. They felt like from time to time they went from one side to the other.
Gender flexible.
Gender flexible.
Mm-hmm.
And they were looking for a group in New England that focuses on that kind of topic for support. And I'm afraid I'm going to have to write back to our friend and tell him that while there's a lot of trans groups in New England that are very welcoming and, you know, support the entire expression of gender, that I don't think there's anybody, there might be on the national level, but I don't think specifically in New England we have any kind of group that focuses on real gender flexibility.
Right. And we would certainly welcome this person. But
certainly, I have, I'm almost speechless, which is kind of a rare occurrence.
It's interesting, though.
But I will file that away. That's interesting because, you know, well, I mean, it is Pride season, and you know, we do have contact with a lot of folks over this time, and maybe that's something you know, that we can, you know, put out to the community, and
well, and I know at True Colors there was an individual who expressed something that sounded very similar. This person had been frustrated for years because every form, I'll say, she fills out, they want you to check male or female, and those are the only options.
There's no box for both, huh?
You know, or even other. And, you know, just didn't feel like being locked into the binary was where this person felt comfortable. This person felt comfortable. I don't know for this person if it was between or shifting, but did not like the binary, did not feel comfortable in the binary.
Right.
Whereas we feel comfortable in the binary, we just want to get to the other side of it.
Right. We are trans.
Right. Well, most people, you know, have a...
I mean, we, the two of us, not speaking for the larger community.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I think most people have a trajectory of their sexuality, and it's usually predictable, and it's usually stable, but often it's not. And, you know, in a pluralistic society, we have to make allowances for everyone, and including this person who feels that, you know, that is their born right to be able to cycle between gender and gender expression.
Right.
Absolutely.
So that's very interesting.
Someday, all those forms will have 12 boxes.
That's right.
But it is interesting now, isn't it? But we certainly would welcome somebody like that. We don't, it isn't our focus.
Right. As we've told several people who have asked, if anybody's watching, our group has a focus on transsexual issues and on transitioning and supporting other trans folks, but we certainly support and cover and welcome anyone who's looking for a safe space to express themselves.
Yeah. Exactly.
Amen.
Yeah. It's very cool.
It's just a matter of don't be surprised if you come and we're talking about hormones and surgeries and how to get through the day at work and
yeah. We have a good time, though.
We do.
We have a good time. And I make cheesecake sometimes, and I was approached, interestingly.
And strawberry pie.
I was approached in the parking lot of the Walmart the other day by a woman who watches our show.
Oh.
And she's watching. Somebody watches our show and said she would like to come to
13 viewers.
Yeah, she wanted to come to our meeting and have cheesecake, and if she wants to come, I will certainly make cheesecakes.
You just have to let her know when you're coming so she can make the cheesecake.
So that was
instead of the tiramisu or the strawberry pie or the
cheesecake.
You have to come to our meetings.
If there's one thing we're good
in my copious spare time. Certainly. Well,
cheesecake and wine is a great way to spend the night.
The cheesecake you had at Hartford Pride was just, oh my gosh, that was just...
Oh, those are the little ones. I made the mini cheesecake.
The little mini cheesecakes, yeah.
I know I made one little boy sick. He ate like 37 of them.
Those two little brothers were taking fistfuls of cheesecake and cookies.
They were so cute.
One of them came over once. I think their mom was the one doing henna because he had offered... his mother was offering to give us some free henna art in exchange for all the food we'd given them.
They were cute.
That's nice. Did you take her up on it?
Well, we couldn't. We were, had to kind of stay with what we were doing.
Yeah, we could have, but it was all right.
Yeah,
we were happy to feed them regardless.
Yeah, they were cute. They were really good kids, and that was neat. It was a good time.
What else did you like about Pride?
Well, the energy was great. Seeing people out there.